back to Forward Up Podcast, the #2 podcast in the world. I'm once again joined by my wonderful, in quotations, friends, Sam Briggs and Stephen Davison. Welcome back, gentlemen.
Hold on a minute, last week you were praising us and now it's just quotations wonderful. What?
Yeah, but then last week we stitched up with a Lawrence mechanical.
I'm sick and tired now.
Oh yeah. Okay, Matt, sorry, Matt.
Yeah, you fuckers. Yeah, you bastards.
Right, carry
on. Today's I'm actually in a different filming location today. I'm in a different filming location. I'm at Kira's.
He's in a girl's bedroom.
I always knew one day I'd end up in this bedroom.
She thought it'd be George.
I know. Stephen, it shocks me as well. Yeah.
Do you want to introduce the guests?
No, they use a different room.
Yeah, do you want to introduce who's with us, Matt?
Of course, mate, of course. Cool. Well, I've been looking forward to filming this episode for a long time now. Wanted to have this guest on for a very long time, but since we're so, filled ahead with guests and everything, luckily I think we had a cancellation or some shit. And by that I mean I was very drunk and I was like, yeah, let's get him on now. So, welcome finally to the podcast, Charlie Woodward. Welcome, Charlie.
Hey.
Let's go.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's an honour to be on here.
Oh, God.
Love this podcast. Love listening, love watching. So, thank you for having me.
No problem.
Can't wait to chat shit for an hour.
Yeah, we've been looking forward to this for ages, man.
True.
Oh, dear.
So, the first question
amazing.
we ask
So, gentlemen, what
is, yeah, come on, Matt. I was going to say, what's everyone drinking today?
Oh,
okay.
Right.
You know what? I'm on the vodka, the co-op vodka.
Co-op
Yes,
vodka.
Matt.
Ooh.
Risky.
This is the first time Matt has had a drink.
Co-op vodka, my friends.
Matt's a recovering alcoholic.
He's not
I've been a bit busy. Yeah, no, legit.
Relax.
Sorry, guys, I completely
I have
forgot that it
problems.
was a drinking podcast, so I'm now on the Fosters. I forgot to open it.
Hey, I tell you what, I'm also on the Fosters.
Hey.
I brought Tinny here.
Hey, that's what we like to hear. At least I'm not the
I'm sorry
only
if
one.
that's
Yes,
cat
mate,
piss,
go on.
Getting on the old Tinny's there.
I'm in work in about 2 hours, so I'm on a passion fruit martini.
Go, get on that.
Oh,
Which I got
nice,
from
Stephen.
work.
Very fancy.
You know what, Stephen? That's very fancy of you.
Sounds good.
That's
Yeah,
brilliant.
I've never
Yeah,
tried
yeah,
it
yeah.
before, so this ought to be interesting.
Let's know what you think.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I mean, I think...
So, we finally got Charlie on, so I think we just need to dive straight into it. Best question of the podcast. Charlie, what's your body count? No, I'm joking.
Do you like anal?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let's not ask these
Do
questions.
you like anal, Charlie?
Let's wait for the first 10 minutes at
No,
least. guys.
Charlie's actually got a career. Charlie's got a career that he needs to actually uphold.
Yeah, nobody else has.
Yeah, I'm
going to
refrain from answering any questions.
Unlike us, we're just going downhill.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cool. So Charlie, me and you have been friends a very, very long time. We're going to go into that pretty much straight off the bat. The first topic is Matt and Charlie falling out, which sounds quite depressing. So instead, I'm going to go to the next one, which is Charlie.
Yeah.
I want to know your YouTube backstory. We both come from YouTube. What's your story? Where did you begin? Generic question, but your story's more interesting than anyone else that we're going to ask this to. So I actually want to hear this
Oh, I
one.
don't know.
There's your
I don't know
first
about
drink.
that,
Oh, God.
Drink.
Yeah, that's the first shot of the
but
episode.
what's the first story? Love it.
Have a
Okay,
drink.
so it starts back in, I reckon, 2010, 2011.
Damn.
I'd always loved making. I had this iPad Mini. I got given maybe for Christmas, or I bought with some money an iPad Mini. It was this really crap, small thing, hardly any storage. But I was like, look, this is amazing. And I had iMovie. iMovie was sort of the app that was the main sort of editing thing at that age for people who were doing YouTube. And I think there's some people who still use it just as sort of the basics. And there was like these templates, these animation and these film trailer templates, which I would just be in my back garden and just film and just make these shite. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, go ahead. Mate.
Can you swear
I was
on
making
this?
these.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, it's true. We're drinking, so obviously. No, it was these shit templates, these shit
family
trailers,
friendly,
and
yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Bleep me. And I was like, look, I just wanted to make these templates. I was watching, there was 4 main YouTubers I was watching. It was Roman Atwood.
Yes.
He's been my long hero when it came to YouTube. Roman Atwood. There's a story about him I'll get onto later as well. And CTFXC,
Yeah,
Charles
I like
and
that
Ali,
one.
those two. BF versus GF, Gina and Jesse, and then the Sidemen and sort of early days for them. And I was making and watching all these like YouTube and thinking, look, I want to be like these guys. I want to be doing this kind of thing. So I was making these crap trailers and I was doing all this. And 2012, my mum says, look, I've just seen this on Facebook. They're looking for. I was doing magic at the time. I was a magician. I was doing a bit of magic at the time at school and just doing card tricks and all this kind of stuff. So I was dabbling in and out
destined for a career as a virgin.
Well, yeah, true. But I could be a magician, so I could just magic up whatever I needed. So
very true.
Unfortunately, didn't quite work.
To make this virginity disappear.
Yeah, without actually doing anything. No, so I was doing magic. There was a couple of mates at secondary school who were doing that when I was in like year 7 and 8, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So we just sort of did a bit of magic. 2012, my mum says, look, I've just seen this advert on Facebook. BBC are looking for young magicians, young people to take part in this challenge called a Turbo Boost, and it was presented by a guy called Turbo, and it was a 4-week TV sort of thing, filmed over like 4 or 5 weeks of, right, we're going to take your skill and rise you to the top, give you like a celebrity expert and take you to the top. And I was like, look, I'm not really too bothered. And my mum said, look, let's fill it in and just see. Nothing's going to happen, but we might as well. So I did magic.
You're going on TV whether you want to or not.
Yeah, and next thing you know, I've got my mum coming into my room saying, look, the BBC have just been on the phone. They want to audition you for this show on Skype or something. I was like, what? I had no idea what they were on about. So I ended up having this audition, did all that stuff. Anyway, I ended up getting on the show. And I did this 4 or 5 week series. It was filmed over like that. It wasn't like that long on TV. It was just a one-off episode, but there was like 12 episodes in it. Anyway, mine was the pilot episode, so it never made TV. I was one of the first just to see how it was going to be filmed. So mine never made it, but I have the 25-minute clip on my dad's computer somewhere downstairs, and it was really good fun. And that was that gave me a taste of, filming TV, this kind of thing, which is what I loved. And I thought, you know what, I want to go into this kind of area. Fast forward a couple of years, I'm doing a bit of YouTube. Matt and I have met. We're going to events, 4 or 5 times a year up and down the country, Manchester, Coventry, Birmingham, London, Insomnia, all the events you can think of. We were going to them, and we were meeting new people and like expanding our friend group. And it was at a similar time, 2014, 2015, that ZK was sort of, Zach and Judge were doing their thing. And there was just loads of stuff going on.
Amazing.
The industry just felt amazing. It just felt like a big community. We were on Skype calls all night. There was endless nights of laughter and just so much fun happening. And I just sort of kept doing a bit of YouTube and bits here and there, and it was great fun. Loved it. I don't really do as much now, but I still want to. I still want to try and do content. But it's been amazing, really. I love it.
Fantastic, and
brilliant. That's a fantastic journey. It's why I was so excited to have you on, because your journey with it all is. We'll go into it more afterwards, but it's just brilliant. Like we've done everything together for one, but like the amount of shit you've done, it's just like nothing compares. Like you've generally got such a good story to tell people. It's brilliant.
But mate, we've been there from the start. We've seen the rise and the fall of creators, friends come and go.
Literally every single generation. Yeah, every single generation. Yeah.
The rise and fall of Ollie White.
It's so good to look back at. When Matt and I met, we were kids, and now we're sort of adults.
Sort of.
What's happened in the last?
Isn't it crazy?
Yes, okay, yeah, that's true. We've still got our inner child. But, it's just amazing to be able to share a journey. And then we met at Clash again. We haven't seen Matt in a long time, and it's like nothing. It's like you never leave each other. So it's like that's
nothing changed. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
You're like soulmates.
I love that. I think it's just why it's lasted over the years.
Yeah.
I could text Matt
at,
we are 11 PM about Doctor Who or something like that, and we can have a whole conversation about that. So.
Oh yeah, Matt and Doctor
Literally.
We do. To be fair, we often
Charlie
do.
non-stop Doctor Who.
Fair enough.
Non-stop Doctor Who.
You mentioned about falling
Stephen,
out.
Russell T Davis is friends with Charlie.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Matt, I think
the writer of Russell T, the writer of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
that's gonna have to be a new drink.
Oh god.
It's true. We can do that. That's a crazy story, Matt. I still think how on earth has that happened? How how have I got the guy that wrote my childhood commenting on my Instagram? Do you know what I mean? It's like
Literally.
That's bonkers, to be fair. That's mental. Yeah. Stephen could only dream of that.
I still can't believe it.
And like he said it. He was going to give you like links at the BBC and shit. Like it was amazing. Just like this is just from like Instagram as well. It wasn't like you met him or anything.
Yeah, it was. He actually did. He sent a email or a message to one of the main producers at a production company in Manchester, just basically saying he sort of put in a good word for me, and I sent off a almost like a CV email thing about work, and I never heard back. But it was like the fact that he went out of his way to do that. If he actually did that, you know, I never
exactly, yeah.
But, you know, I've got no reason to not believe him. It's still amazing for him to do that. So I still thank him for doing that.
That's class.
I was going to say, you mentioned
a good
a couple
topic
of minutes ago,
which I think would be good to go on to.
Sorry, go on, Matt. What were you
Yeah,
saying?
go on. I think is there like a delay or something? Is there like a delay with talking?
I think there might be a delay for you, yeah, because we keep talking at the same time. But anyway, I was going to say, you mentioned...
There's just a bit of a delay. Just give me a sec. Let me just...
Let me just, please. Right, Matt's left the Discord. This happens near enough every week as well. What I was going to ask, whilst...
You should bring him back in.
He should be able to see the... Oh, he's joined the wrong one. Welcome back, Matt.
Hey.
Cheers. Thank you.
I'm now the new guest of the Pour One Out podcast. Welcome back. We have Matt Stokes joining us.
Oh dear.
Right. Okay,
yeah, you mentioned
it's working a bit better now.
You mentioned, yeah, that's working a lot better, mate. You mentioned briefly about fallings out, and we do have written here. It was supposed to be the first question, but obviously we didn't want to start on a low ball.
Well, we did, and then Matt changed his mind when we started.
Well, yeah.
Well, the reason is like me and Charlie. This is like we didn't fall out, but like back in the day we had disagreements with YouTube. That's all it was.
Right,
We've
yeah.
never fallen out,
Matt,
so we wouldn't be who we are
you were the
now.
one who told us to put this on the plan.
I think
Yeah,
I meant more just like. Nothing comes to mind that happened. Like he didn't fuck my girlfriend or anything. You know, he probably could, but like.
That's what this.
You know what I mean?
That's what you say to the public, anyway.
No, what it was
that's
like.
what we keep under wraps.
From what I remember, Charlie, like I only remember falling out with you like slightly once, and all it was because like you were more like business focused with YouTube, whereas I was just doing it just to like for like fans and like that sort of shit. Whereas like you were clever and you were like making merch and shit, and you were doing well with it. And I think that's the time where I was just like I just didn't really agree with it. But obviously, in the long run, it's worked out a lot fucking better doing what you did than the shit that I did.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I can't think of a time that I think, oh, me and Matt fell out. We didn't speak for months or whatever.
No, it's because we've always spoken, always been friends.
There was obviously going to be disagreements and small altercations because you know we were smaller YouTubers and we were at a very similar level. We still are, you know, in terms of subscriber count. It's like it was instead of it being competition, it was like. You know, we're friends here. We just need to work together. You know, we did
though, didn't we? Like we never raced or anything. Like we literally did like every video, just shouting each other out constantly. It was so cool.
Making these like shout out Sundays videos and just doing all this. Yeah,
shout out Sundays videos. They're 15 seconds long, and it was just you going. Hi, shout out to Matt.
Yeah, I know. I'm not joking. I think it was like literally like.
It's funny, the fact that our friendship is that solid, right? So we're going to talk about this later, but fuck it, we'll go on to it now. The fact that me and you didn't fall out during the KSI and Logan Paul situation, that just says it all.
Oh man,
you
know what? There was
KSI's bloke, like the guy that's filming for him taking photos and shit, and you've got me, Logan Paul's mascot, and we still stayed friends.
I tell you what,
we went to the fucking fight together.
Yeah, that's true. There was one point when we were at the press conference in London. And Matt was the only one there with like Maverick merch. And he was wearing this hoodie or backpack, and you know Cal Freesia was taking a video. I think Alex did or something. And I was like, I'm like Matt, I don't know if that's the best idea. Like, I don't know, like if what you're doing is smart or just a bit stupid.
Yeah. Mate, it got me in the vlog. Really sure. It was. I knew exactly what I was doing.
You know, that's exactly what you needed to do. So I respect it. But no, we'll go on to the fight stuff a bit later, I'm sure. But I think that was amazing to be able to share that experience and sit next to each other. You know, Logan fan, KSI fan. Even though I respect both of them. I fucking love both of them now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, on the other side of the world in LA you couldn't get any better than that.
When we used to just meet up and go.
Back, it's amazing.
We used to just go to events, just fucking just do shit. Whereas we're the other side of the world.
Charlie, you say you couldn't get better than that. I did get better than that. I was sat in front of Riley Reid.
Oh, okay, you win. Okay, that is an instant W. Yeah, no, I respect that.
Yeah.
But what you sat next to your best friend?
Ah,
No, there
true.
we go.
Stephen didn't have any friends there.
Oh, that's nice.
I introduced Stephen to Matt whilst they were in LA.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I
We
wasn't
didn't
even in
meet,
LA.
like,
I
we
just saw
didn't-
them both tweet on Twitter. I was like, yeah, here you go, guys.
Oh,
We didn't.
nice.
We didn't like properly meet. Like I look back at my vlogs now, and so does George TG, and like he's just stood behind us.
Just appears.
Stephen's appearing his head out of the corner. Oh, maybe if I get in his video, maybe he'll shout me out.
Literally.
Can you put me in a
But,
shout
uh,
out
That's probably how I
Sunday?
started. Deal.
Oh dear.
So, just back to it then, Charlie. So, obviously, you've had quite success at such a young age, which is brilliant for you. I'm very, very happy for how well you've done over the years. So, straight up question for you: how would you say that your young success affects like you growing up with like YouTube, and what did it teach you and all sorts of shit? Do you have like a sort of answer? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I know looking back now that I definitely had this almost arrogant side. It was like, look what I'm doing, you know, I'm trying to be the... You know, I was making merch and I had like 5,000 subs. You know, looking back now, that's ridiculous in terms of a thing to do, but
But you
because
sold
people-
it.
but-
I've
yeah,
got a
because-
poster in my room.
I look back and think, I sold a photo, I signed a photo that I took, someone took of me on holiday in Lanzarote, in, I don't know where it was, or Spain, in Spain, and I was like, how did I do that? And I think that was the thing, I think I saw that I was, you know, doing all right, but I wasn't really gaining subs as fast as I wanted to. I wasn't getting the sub count that I was sort of wanting, but I look back and think, you know, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say really.
You just look back and think,
That's what this
wow,
podcast's all about, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to look back because I look at myself. I'd rather cringe looking back than I would. I'd rather cringe now looking back than I would cringe now myself.
Not
today.
doing
Do
it.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Oh yeah, I like that.
You'd rather
Yeah,
cringe at something you've done than something you didn't do.
exactly, or cringe at doing something that I'm doing now. So it's like,
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing was cringing. It was weird, and there were of course people. I think the thing is, if you're not getting a bit of hate, then you're not doing something right. You know, if there's not someone who's jealous
If
or
you're not
hating
pissing
on what you're
someone
doing, then I
off.
guess exactly. You know, if you're not getting cancelled for something, you know, then you're not doing something right in some ways. But look, it was a real fun thing to do at a young age, and I think now I've realised like I just need to enjoy it more. I probably didn't enjoy it as much as I probably should have. You know, I was enjoying it, but it was like looking back, I probably could have, you know, actually stopped and gone, oh, this is fine, instead of just next thing.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes, and yeah, I love it.
Charlie, should we tell the very quick story of how we used to get like active Twitter followers?
Oh gosh, was that?
Do you remember what we used to do?
Yes, was that the DMing thing?
Is that the auto DM?
Yeah.
Matt, get on that one.
No.
Yeah.
No, so it was better
remember
than that. It was
that,
better
yeah.
than that. So me and Charlie had a system where we had an automatic message, but it wasn't them ones. So that was like, "Hey cutie," because we fucking hated them. It was like an actual nice message, and me and Charlie used to say like, "Hey, I know you're going to think this is automated, but to prove it's
Yeah.
not, hey Amber, for example, it's
Yes,
the 7th
oh
of
my
August.
goodness. I
It's
forgot about that.
1:30. I just wanted to say thank you for following me. I appreciate it a lot. If I'm always
we
here,
set
whether
the
you want to
time.
talk or anything. You know what I mean? Yeah, do you remember?
Yeah. Oh my god! But we were following like it was just a way of like trying to get more active followers because I remember we did that Birmingham meetup, Matt. Like all of our
We did a
group.
fucking meetup, bro. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
And then George got
That was
banned from the
huge.
next one.
George is banned from the NEC in Birmingham.
Yeah,
He got
George
banned
banned
from the
from
first our own fucking event.
It was I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that was a fun time. We would sit on a call and just be like, right, I'm going to follow all these girls and lads and message them saying, look, it's this time. I promise this is not automated. And we would get active
remember-
followers. That was the thing. Like we'd get people to turn on
See, that's-
notifications
yeah.
and try and get an active following.
That's
'Cause that was
mad.
what was
It's
working.
because
It's funny. We used to do it to all like Jake Mitchell would tweet or like fucking James Essex who hates me now.
Jamesy. Do you remember
But
Jamesy?
do you remember Jamesy? I do remember Jamesy.
Yeah. That was
Oh.
I remember all these people. Yeah.
See what
that was
the
fun.
So-
the strategy I used, right? Mine's very similar. Weirdly, I'd have notifications turned on for people like Alfie Days, Marcus Butler, you know, people like that, because obviously they were big back in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And as soon as they tweet, I click on their likes and just go down, follow people.
Yeah.
Because obviously
We did
that was another
retweets
thing.
because retweets were more engaging.
and then
that was another thing, was trying to get that retweets and likes.
and then obviously you could follow like a
But
maximum of
Charlie, we used
1,000
to
people
be
a day.
big with it.
And my automated tweet,
Like-
oh, this is going to sound awful. My automated tweet was, "Hey guys, I'm 3 subscribers away from today's goal. Do you mind just subscribing and checking out my latest video?"
Hey, look, we all had to do what we had to do.
Innit, yeah.
That's what I mean. It's funny
Exactly.
to look back on and go, oh, that's almost like cringy.
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'd rather
It is,
cringe
yeah.
looking back than now. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is though, Charlie, like it worked. Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be a cunt about it, but it worked. Like we
got
built
act-
such active
Yeah.
Twitters. Like you know, like you see like Owen Powell and Tom GW and that now. Like we
Yeah.
were just like them.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I watch them do it, I'm like,
See, that's-
this is their generation now. But I've done all this shit, which is like when it came to my
Yeah.
retirement, I was just like, I've done everything, literally fucking everything.
So, it's so true. I've completely
See, that's
forgot
the
about all
thing,
that.
yeah.
It's funny to look back on.
See, it's weird. It's weird though, because like nowadays, doing that probably wouldn't work.
No,
Twitter-
you
Twitter's
just
Because
get-
everyone's just sort of.
Yeah. It's,
So
Yeah.
the whole
it's not a
social
place I
media's
enjoy.
changed since we've been there.
Oh yes.
I know since
Yeah,
we
for sure.
moved. Yeah, God, it was so different when we did. I imagine for you as well, Sam and Stephen. But like,
Matt, do you
Oh, God,
remember
yeah.
this Skype call when we?
Oh,
I
God.
think it was Lucas had got like a fake phone call from that Welsh company, Your Money Rights. Do you remember this?
I don't think I do.
Matt doesn't remember
And
the last
Matt-
podcast episode.
Lucas-
He's not going to remember that.
Lucas had the number of this Welsh company called Your Money Rights. I remember that. Lucas will remember this. And
Yeah.
we would all phone them in like a Skype call like midnight or like during the day, just to like spam them and then like waste their time. Anyway, I read this BBC article in the news like 2 or 3 years ago. They got like done for like millions and millions and millions of fraud. And we were there at like 14-year-olds just calling them, just fucking spamming them every single day, like, your money night, your money night. Oh, just absolutely fucking taking the piss. But to be fair, they were doing it
Oh
to us.
my
So.
god.
I remember that one. I can't remember
dude,
that Skype call.
our prank calls and shit back in the day was funny. I do remember
God.
doing shit like that. We used to spend hours on Zoom, man.
Yeah,
Um,
that was funny.
But before we branch off too much, right? Big part of your life, Charlie, that you'll remember. I remember finding out about this. Lucas, shout out Lucas Rugby, he told me about this before I met you. Charlie, you were actually a TV star.
There's your drink.
Charlie was on Bear Grylls Survival
Another
School.
one.
Yeah.
Nah, but another one. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Bear
What
Grylls
was that like,
Survival
Charlie?
I'm sorry,
What was
Charlie.
that like for you?
That was a crazy one. I still, yeah, it was back in 2015 was when it was filmed, and 2016 was when it came out. And the craziest part was that in 2017 it went on Netflix for like 6 months. So can I say
Amazing.
that?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean, I want.
Can
You're
you
a
say
Netflix
that?
star,
No,
bro.
you're gonna get sued by
I was gonna make a
Netflix.
Netflix and chill. I was gonna make a Netflix and chill joke, but I thought, well, yeah, with my own
Can
TV,
you
yeah, I'm
imagine?
not sure that would work.
You're shit.
With Bear Grylls Survival
Can you
School.
imagine that? You're with a girl, and then you're like, oh, look at the TV, it's me.
Yeah.
Oh, would you look like just so happens to
I
be
went on
me?
holiday. There was one time. I mean, I'll go back on that in a sec. But my mum my mum again had seen this thing on Facebook. I don't know. Old people live on Facebook. Do you know what I mean? So it was like my mum saw this
Yeah.
advert that ITV and CITV, Children's ITV, were advertising. They were looking for young participants to participate in a 12-episode series with Bear Grylls. They didn't. That was it in Wales in August. I think it was August 2015. And I thought, okay, let's do it. And normally, with these things, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna leave it. But I just had this. I remember having this conversation with my mum and dad. I was so confident that I was gonna get the part, be on the show. I remember saying, oh, I'm gonna get this. I reckon I've got this. Fucking, I'm outside fixing a an umbrella that we have over our table with my dad. The phone rings and he's like, oh, just leave it, we're fixing this. I went and got it anyway. It was ITV saying, look, we want to have an interview with you in London. Can you come to... Or it was
Oh my God.
Sorry, it was in Manchester. Can you come up to the place in Manchester, to Media City, to have a thing?
Yeah,
an
that's
interview.
which is where I live now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So you're living there now.
Yeah.
God.
I absolutely loved that. You were like, oh yeah, it was a children's thing. I was in uni in 2015 at Media
Yeah.
City.
Oh,
I was 14 at the time, and I was sort of in between the 12. It was 12 and 15. I was sort of in between that. And I went up there, and I remember coming out of the audition. There was like 10 other kids, 5 boys, 5 girls, just a mix of. They did interviews up and down the country, But there was one boy, I can still remember all this. There was one boy who was really formal, going around shaking everyone's hand, saying,
Was it George TG?
There was one girl. Oh no, it wasn't. But there was one girl who didn't say anything, and then we had to do all these different, auditions and stuff. And I remember coming out and saying to my mum, "There's no way I'm getting this. Like, there's just absolutely no way." I wasn't confident, and I completely just lost all hope. And I don't know why I suddenly became really pessimistic about it. And then a week later, I'm outside. My mum comes, "You need to come inside and join this Skype call." And I joined, and it was the producer and the director saying, "How would you fancy coming to Wales with us for 2 weeks?" And I didn't know that was like an actual saying, "Do you want to come?" Like, I thought they were saying, "Oh, how would you feel about doing it? Like, would you be up for it?" Or like, do you know what I mean? They were actually saying, "You're coming with us," and I was like, "Oh shit, this is actually happening." And then a week later, I'm on a train with my dad up to Chester to go to North Wales, and we started the filming, and that was a crazy experience, absolutely crazy.
Ah, that sounds amazing. To be fair,
yeah.
We do have one question before the break. Probably got about 3 minutes before the break.
Yeah. There's your drink,
and it's just a quick one.
I keep drinking too early.
There is a drink there.
I need to stop.
It's all right. You know what You're really into the show, it's good. So, what we've got written down here is fan to friend of the Sidemen. So, what was it like going from being a fan of the Sidemen, or like people from the Sidemen, to actually working with them and doing things for them, and essentially, like I say, it's becoming a friend.
Matt, you remember the Instagram days of do you remember that Ultimate Sidemen?
Yeah, your Sidemen account.
That was how it started.
I remember you shouted me out on it, and you got me loads of subscribers.
Yeah. It's still got. I can't remember the logins, but it's still got like 80,000 followers, I think. And it was I made a fan. I saw there was a fan account of the Sidemen run by a guy called Chris, who I ended up becoming friends with. And that was sort of like the original Sidemen group. There was like 5 or 6 of us. This was sort of. I think this was before I met you guys.
Yeah.
It was Jasmine, Chris, Chloe, Becky, and then a couple of other people. And I made this like fan page on Instagram, which was crazy, and it started gaining followers. We were shouting each other out, and then the Sidemen started sharing like these crap artwork I was making. Like, I was making like graphics and stuff like that on my iPad and doing all this, and that was sort of 2013, 2014. This was early. This was like 2012. I think I went to the first Insomnia.
So I was going to say the Sidemen didn't really start till like 2013.
And this was the first event that they went to as the Sidemen, Insomnia 53 at the Ricoh Arena in Coventry. And there was maybe like 100 people around their stand. And I just ended up going to more and more events, and they sort of got to know my face a bit more, and they sort of watched me like grow up, because I started going to this when I was like 12, 13, and I was with Minnie Minter and Rota Shaw last week in London shooting some stuff. So it's like, it's crazy that I'm still managing to, work with these absolute heroes, and I still watch them. Like, I wouldn't even say that I'm friends with them as such. That it's just amazing to be able to work with them.
Yeah,
what I find amazing about the Sidemen.
Don't worry, you can use that.
What I found amazing about them was when we met them, Charlie, was the fact that they put on that event for us, that Pizza Hut event. It was for the original fans. It was for just the original fans. Like, they remembered every single one who was there at the start. Made an event exclusively for them. Paid like shitloads of money into it.
Yeah, that was. I'm trying to think. Remember what year that was in?
That was 2017.
Yeah, so there was.
But like, it was nice because I got to see you meet all your friends and everything. But go on, explain the event.
Yeah, that was the Pizza Hut one. That was 2017. So that was later on in terms of the events that they did. And I remember when they had their 1 year anniversary.
The secret one, yeah.
That was. I remember seeing that on social media and thinking that is mad. And then the year 2, I had a message from Jasmine, who was one of the original Sidemen fans, saying, "Do you want to come to the secret Sidemen 2-year event?" It was at the Emirates Stadium in Arsenal.
It wasn't it? Yeah, they had that big glass sculpture and shit. I remember seeing it.
It was nuts, and I remember going to that and thinking, this is just like exclusive fans, like 100 people there max. And we were like chatting to the Sidemen, like doing photos. Everyone was vlogging. It was that was nuts. And then I remember for the Pizza Hut one, I had a message from Zerka. Josh had DM me on Twitter saying, "Hi Charlie, can you send me an email, please? I want to send you something." And at the time, I was thinking, "Well, this isn't real. Why is Zerka messaging me?" And I remember saying to my mum, my mum knew how I adored these guys. Like, these were my biggest idols when it came to YouTube. They, I still look up to them so much. And I remember saying to Josh, I'm not really sure if this is real. Are you hacked? And I've got the conversation, I'm sure, on Twitter. And he sent me a photo of himself with a notepad that said, "No, I'm not hacked, Charlie." And I was like,
I remember you
God,
showed me that. Yeah, I remember you showed me that.
This is fucked. This is nuts. And then it was like, "Look, you can bring you and a friend can come to the Pizza Hut event." I was like, "Well, the only person that I know, is obsessed with Simon like me, and that I would love to take along is Matt." Matt came and stayed around mine the night before.
That's amazing.
And then
Flew the drones and shit. Went to London. Yeah,
crazy.
It was.
And it's great that I'm still managed to,
Yeah, fantastic. I think that nicely brings us to the break, though. What a nice little story that is. Yeah, we'll catch you guys after the break, and we'll get more into Charlie's personal life rather than his YouTube career.
That sounds very threatening.
Charlie's sex life.
I'm going.
See you in a minute.
Yeah, I'm going.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the second half of the Pour One Out podcast. I'm still joined by all my wonderful friends and guests today. None of them have left. One day, a guest will fucking leave, like in the middle. They'll be like, "Fuck this." But the fact that, like, again, Lauren Alexis stayed gives me hope in the world. So we had an amazing first half, getting to know Charlie's story with YouTube and everything. Obviously, always in the second half, we do like to go into a bit more personal lives and that sort of thing as well. But Charlie, I've got to ask, right, because we've got to throw people in the mud with this podcast. Charlie, what's your worst experience with a YouTuber or an artist or just someone that's, like, famous, I guess?
Oh, jeez.
Where's your drink?
Thankfully... Yeah, thankfully... Artists.
I can't hear Charlie for some reason. Let me just leave and join back.
Right, okay. Jesus Christ, here we go again. So
do you want me
always
to leave
Matt.
as well?
No, you should be alright. We can hear you fine.
We can hear you, it's just Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Hello.
Can you hear me, Matt?
There we go, yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool. Cool. I think I've been quite lucky with YouTube-wise in terms of bad experiences.
Yeah.
There's definitely more good experiences than there are bad.
Yeah.
YouTube-wise, it's probably just people either ignoring messages, when you need to find out something, or artist-wise are probably worse than YouTubers when it comes to experiences. Thankfully, because I've been working for YouTubers, it's not too bad because they sort of need the service that I'm providing. So it's like it hasn't been too bad. There's nothing that I can think, oh yeah, immediately this person was bad or they were bad. But artist-wise, they're probably more just like snobby when it comes to like trying to get passes or credentials to shoot things. Even just small gigs, it's a pain. But thankfully I've not had any bad experiences, which is a positive. But
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
Probably have some bad ones next week.
I'm glad you said that because like when we did a section before where it was like your worst experience with a YouTuber, and like Sam and Stephen instantly came out with theirs, and I was just like, my experience has always been good. You know what I mean? Like I can't think of many other than the Claudia Nair one. I can't think of like many experiences where it was in it. Yeah, I can't think of anywhere.
Hell, mate, Matt, you're unlocking memories that I never thought I'd remember again.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah,
She's
in there.
I don't think we even know this. So Matt, what's this?
What's
this story?
No, I've explained the story before. There's a clip of it, I'm sure.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm glad that your experience is good. That's what I like about our generation. Like I see, like now, all Twitter and YouTube is just calling people out and this and that, and everyone fucking hates each other. Everyone wants to compete with each other. Whereas when we did it, it was just toxic. Like we all worked together. We had like our group, and we all grew together. And it wasn't like we grew and we didn't grow, because we've all gone on to do amazing things. You know what I mean? So we all took our situation. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
We're all still friends. So if it's something, we've obviously done something, right? We still I'm sure, I don't know how much you've mentioned the group on Snapchat.
The Snapchat, oh my god, that's the one. Yeah.
The content that we've seen, that is, we're still friends, put it that way.
Somehow, after all the things George King has sent in there, we still speak on that every day. That's an interesting one.
Everything.
But it's all the original people, like we're all still friends. It's so interesting. Yeah. But anyway, moving on then. So, Charlie, obviously, sounds like it's pretty good. But what's your relationship with your family like? I've met your family, lovely people. But what's it like?
It's good. I've been really fortunate. I need to stop talking before I drink. I've been really fortunate to have a family parents and a brother who have supported me, and I owe a lot to them because I know that there's been friends that I know who have been shot down or knocked down by their mum or dad for not being able to do things or not being able to. My mum and dad took a risk on me. There was times when I wanted to drop out of school, drop out of college to try and either do YouTube or, work already. And my mum and dad were so supportive. And I think my brother is 4 years older than me, and he's in a band who are doing really well now.
Yeah,
and I owe a lot to my brother. I owe a lot to him because when I first started photography and filming, he was sort of that stepping stone for me to go and shoot at gigs. It was free entry into a gig. I wasn't getting paid for it, but it was experience to build up a portfolio.
Definitely.
And then I started getting paid from the bands that he's been in a few now, and I've been really lucky to film for them and shoot for them.
Yeah.
So I owe a lot to my brother, which is great. And I think the thing is, my mum and dad were quite hard on my brother when it came to school, and they wanted him to do a certain job. They said, look, we want you to make sure you're taking this for GCSEs and A-levels. And my brother never really wanted to do that, and I think it was almost eye-opening for them, because they said, they really let me have freedom when it came to doing what I wanted to do, and they have been honestly, they have been so supportive when it comes to what I've been able to do, and my mum taking me up to different events, waiting, just staying. She has been amazing. My dad as well, taking me places. So yeah, I've got thankfully a really, really good relationship, which is great.
I think another reason why we've always been quite similar, and we are similar because it's the exact same with me. Like our parents, they've always let us go to events, because I know some people who had to ask permission to go to events and shit, which makes complete sense. I'm not judging that at all. It's sensible. But our parents were just do it, have fun. Charlie was
we were going at
12
and 13 with random people
exactly
that, I'd never met on Twitter.
My mum cried when I went to Sitsi for the first time with ZK Media. Obviously, it was like a paid trip and everything. My mum cried her eyes out because she thought she was never going to see me again. I was like, Mum, this company's paying for me to go to London to stay in a Hilton. It's going to be, I got to go to the event for free, and free food and free drinks and VIP, and my mum was crying.
Nuts. But honestly, it is nuts.
It was the happiest weekend of my life. Nothing will ever change how happy I was at that first Sitsi. Nothing will ever top that.
That was,
you know what I mean? So, but back to the point. Parents, brilliant. So we're supposed to be going on to mental health struggles next, but I think just to ease in it before we go into that, Charlie, what's your experience with girls like? Because I see your private Twitter. I know this shit going on. I know this shit going on there.
Wait, you've got a private Twitter?
No, not me. It's definitely not me. It's a weird one because I've always at primary school I always grew up around girls. I was mainly friends with girls, so I think I've always been that naturally person who have gravitated towards girls as well as guys, not just in a relationship way, just in a friend's way. Which is nice because it's nice to not be awkward around girls. I could have a conversation with a girl just as easy as a boy and not have them think that it's something different. You know what I mean? So in that respect, it's good, and I'm a confident person, which is amazing, which I'm very thankful for. So I've been able to chat to people, but it was weird. I mean, relationship wise, it's always been a tough one because there was, everyone has their first love, and I had that, but it was with someone who just
Matt Stokes.
didn't care. She probably didn't even know that I was into her as much as she thought. But and that was something we can go into mental health in that, because that was something that took a toll on me massively during the summer of, I think, 2018. Because I was absolutely in love with this girl, and I don't know, it never happened. And I remember having a conversation with her, and she just said something like, I still think about the time, this was ages ago, she was like, I still think about the times that we could have been together. And I think that hurts, man.
It hurts, doesn't it?
Fuck. But things happen, and I'm not gonna lose sleep. Well, I'm not gonna lose sleep again over a girl. I'm not weird.
You do learn stuff, don't you? You really do learn shit.
Yeah, you do, and that's the thing. And now it's different. I got friend zoned like a year ago by some girl on Twitter that we all know, but there's no way I'm dropping names.
To be fair, you can say the name and Sam will bleep it. But I just so we know.
Nah, really? Okay, will it actually get bleeped?
Yeah. I'll make sure everything's bleeped.
You know.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, no, she's a lovely girl, but she liked someone else at the time, and I was like, fuck, I want to try and get in here.
Yeah.
But I ended up becoming like a shoulder to cry on for her over this lad.
Yeah.
Who was also my best friend.
Bro, that hurts.
Oh, that's sad.
Joe,
What
that
I'll do,
hurts.
instead of bleeping it, I'll cut it out. That's what I'll do for you.
Yeah, honestly, as long as the names aren't there, then I
No,
don't
Yeah.
no, no.
But yeah, no. So that was an interesting experience, and I think now it's like I'm not like pushing for anything, and I'll always say if things happen naturally, then fantastic. But I'm never thinking. I'm not scrolling through Tinder like George King, you know, liking every girl. Sorry, George. Sorry, George. But it's how it goes. And if things happen, then it happens. And the thing is, I work. The problem is, I work so much, and like, you know, sometimes I'm at home, sometimes I'm away, and a lot of my time is on work and working.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what work is. And yeah, I couldn't have a relationship at certain points, but now I think like if something happens, then I'm definitely open to something.
I think we all know that it's cheesy, but it's true. Like when you're not looking for it, you'll find it. Like when I got my girlfriend, I was just like, never going out with any girl again. Fuck that, not getting married. And then next thing you know, I'm in love again.
There we go. That's how it goes.
Third time this fucking year.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. But yeah, no. In terms of, we can move on to the
There we go.
we can move on to the mental health one in that respect.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
That was the girl my first love.
Drink.
Yeah, that's what I do with my mental health shit, mate. It's all right.
Yeah, no. This girl was like, I was almost in my head. I was like, what is happening? Like my head is fucked. I remember doing NCS. You know this.
Oh yeah.
I remember.
I feel like Sam
doing
is the sort of person who would have done that.
I did it, bro, you were only supposed to do it once, and I did it 3 times.
Oh god, okay, well then that's not as bad as me, thank you. No, I remember doing NCS. I did NCS purely just because of this girl that she was on, that she was on it.
Respect.
And I was like, right, this is like 4 weeks to try and like. I went to school. She'll never listen to this, so I don't really care. But no, it was a weird one, and there was definitely like a summer where I was like, I am so obsessed with this girl, like I cannot stop thinking about her, like 24/7. And I didn't know what to do, and I was like, and thankfully I had a brother who has been there. He's got 4 years ahead of me experience. So it was like I could speak to him, and me and him never had a good relationship when we were growing up because we worked in a pub. He was out front serving, and I was in the kitchen.
Yeah, we went to that pub, didn't we?
Yeah. And I was in the kitchen, he was out front, and we were at that age where it was like we were just arguing, and he would like throw me a spoon, like, wash that up now, and I was like, what the fuck, like, I'm not. It was horrible. And I remember having a conversation with the boss at the time saying, never ever put me on a shift with him again. And when I turned 17, 18, it was like we're not just brothers, we're like best mates now. We can chat about anything, we can we can speak whatever time of the day and just speak about anything, and having that person to turn to helped massively, because I know some people, you know, don't have that luxury of having a sibling or having someone that they can turn to. So in that respect, Matt, I know both you and I have got and have had anxiety, you know, panic attacks and stuff like that, and it's not something that, you know, we can hide away from because it's real. Everyone has it, and you know, I was going through a stage where it was bad, and I was getting it really frequently. Before Bear Grylls, you know, before I did that show, it was bad, and that was almost weirdly the turning point for me. It was 2 weeks out of my comfort zone massively. I was with, you know, people I didn't know. It was in the middle of nowhere. I was far from home. I didn't have the luxuries I had of home, and it was a big experience to be able to go and do that. And I came back a different person, and since then I've really become a better person, I think, in terms of mental health state. And there's definitely been times when you have the odd wobble as such, but it was nowhere near as bad as it was. You know, I was missing days of school because I was like absolutely fucked, like anxiety wise. Thankfully it's all right now, but don't turn to alcohol though.
No, don't do what I did. It doesn't fucking help.
As I showed the can to the camera.
Don't turn to alcohol. This is only day drinking.
Yeah, true. No,
it's just for the podcast.
It's a weird one, but it's good that we can all speak about it, you know, as men, because there's this horrible thing that you can't, if you're a man, you can't show emotion, you can't talk about these things, but being able to speak about them, you know, with your mates on a podcast is the best way to do it, really. So.
Well, that's like, well, one of the things that we've talked about on this podcast. We were all very much reserved, like each one of us, me, Matt and Stephen, very much reserved before we came on the podcast, and now we're so open, and it's just like,
everyone if you like anal.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the guy that was too scared to answer the phone, but I'll happily ask a guest, you know, with thousands of followers online if they like anal.
Did you ask Lauren Alexis that?
Did we?
What did she say?
She doesn't prefer it. Yeah, she doesn't prefer it.
Hey, she's a lovely girl, though, isn't she?
Oh,
Charlie's
she's fucking top.
What, another person that Charlie is tight with. Another person that Charlie's fucking tight with.
No, she's a really nice girl.
Amazing.
Like Lauren.
Just so you know, my camera battery's about to die. I've asked George TG for his. I'm hoping he'll come change it in a sec. So if I just stop suddenly, that's why, just so we can change camera batteries.
No worries.
Do you reckon, well, hang on, Matt, do you reckon it's better? Do you want to just wait now and then you go get the battery?
So it says the next topic is relationship with Matt over the years. But to be honest with you, we've talked about that already. Like, me and Charlie are still friends. It's not like it's been ups and downs. It's just been ups. Let's be honest. And I do generally think I'll be in a retirement home with you.
Yeah, it's very true.
So
you're not
still making vlogs.
No, that's true. Yeah, but like Charlie would be like one of the best men at my wedding, like without a doubt.
Same goes to you, man.
What I want to know is, so we did write funniest Sidemen experience. However, more recently, you had a bit of time filming for the hopeful new mayor of London, which obviously didn't go to plan. So you were filming with Nico, wasn't you?
Yeah.
So what was that like? Do you have any funny stories from that?
Yeah, no. Nico's a top guy. Let me have a drink for that. Nico's one of the best creators I've worked with in terms of not just business-wise but friend-wise. Nico is absolutely amazing. I could message Nico about anything. You know, if I could FaceTime and be like, "Oh, can you help me with this?" and he's there to do it. And it was nuts. I knew Nico from again going back to the early days of YouTube when Nico was small and I was seeing him at events, upload event, you know, in the VIP room, all this kind of thing. And I saw Nico again at the KSI Logan Presser in London. I saw Kenny and I saw a couple of the others. Shark, and I already knew Sharky. Yeah. I knew Sharky as well from back in the day. And I know that the Beta Squad were looking for an editor at the time, so I messaged Kenny, I think, or Sharky, said, "Look, I'm happy to do like a trial edit if you want." So I did one of them, and I saw Nico and got to know them a bit more, and that all went well. And I did a video for them. I ended up going to the house when they lived up in London and doing a video, like doing an edit for them. And then fast forward maybe a year, it was a couple of months or sort of a month before the fight in LA, the main fight, and I said, "Oh, I'm gutted that I'm not going there. Would have been amazing to, you know, be in LA with mates watching the fight." Bearing in mind that, you know, I went to the first one with Matt, you were there, Tom. And I was on tour with my brother's band. We were doing there was like a run of 5 shows, and we were in Nottingham at the time. We were in Nottingham on the Thursday. It was Halloween the next day on the Friday. And I remember getting a call. We were on an off day in Nottingham, and I remember getting a call or a message on Twitter from Nico saying, "Hey man, can I give you a call?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, of course, no problem." So I had a chat with Nico, and he's like, "Look, I saw your tweet about, you know, you're not going to LA. I need another cameraman and editor because the guy we were using just not quite what we were after. So it would be amazing to have you like for a trial period out in LA." I was like, "You want to take me to LA for a trial, like for this thing?"
I remember getting that text message from you. You were like, "Matt, don't tell anyone." But Nico is bringing me to LA.
This
is
fucked. It's absolutely nuts. And I was in Nottingham on the Thursday. And he's like, "Look, we're flying out on the Sunday. Can you meet us at the airport? Can you meet us in LA?" And I was like, "I've still got another show to shoot with my brother's band on the Friday in Brighton." So we were up in Nottingham, and I was like, "Fuck, this is nuts." And I told the guys in the band, I was like, "Look, I've just been offered this." So we ended up going back to Brighton as planned on the Friday morning. Did the show on the Friday night. I had a friend come and pick me up, thankfully, on the Friday night. Took me back home to Reading, and I remember speaking to my mum and dad like, "Look, Nico, who is this YouTuber with 1.5 million subscribers, I think at the time, has just asked me if I want to go to LA, everything paid for, and paying me to work for 2 weeks to go and watch the fight and do all this. And I was like, I still can't believe that, you know, Nico took the risk in doing that. And, you know, he's absolute top guy. And the whole team that Nico has there, Grace, his manager, George, the main editor, James, who's also an editor, absolute top guys over there. And my mum at the time worked for British Airways, so she could get cheaper flights and sort out flights.
I remember that.
Kind of thing.
Oh, don't tell Stephen that.
So yeah, she doesn't work there anymore, unfortunately. But she managed to get me a flight on the Monday, going out on my own to LA and meeting Nico and George out there. And I flew all the way there, did it, you know, met them. I remember when I got there, I said to Nico, Nico's rubbish when it comes to replying to text, by the way. His response time is horrific, but he is a busy man, so I can't blame him. And I was like, look, where am I going? Like, he was like, just right, here's the address that we're staying. Pay for an Uber and go to this address. He's like, we're just out shooting some content, because he was making a whole documentary for the KSI Logan fight, you know, like sneaking in. Yeah. He's like, look, go to this address. We'll sort you out. We'll get a mattress and all this kind of thing. The hotel. We're staying in an apartment in this complex. He's like, just go there. And I was on my own in the middle of America. So, well, not the middle of America, is it really? But the west coast of America, completely fucking jet lagged on my own. I was like, this
and then you had to deal with that fucking
nuts.
that
like,
weird ass Uber shit that they have. Remember at the airport?
Yeah, it was. It was crazy. And there was a whole system. LAX has got a whole like taxi layout for Ubers and Lyfts and all this kind of thing. And I had no idea. I was absolutely knackered. I can't remember the time it was.
To be fair,
I was like,
they'd
look,
only just opened that. They'd only just opened that. Because I remember looking at it. It was literally, they opened at LA exit. They opened it 2 days before we went. So I went to the fight as well.
No way.
And I was like, I read about it, and they were like, oh, this is how it's going to work. And I was like, there's no way that's going to be running smoothly 2 days into it.
Yeah. But Steve, it was like, Steve, it was
my shuttle bus were like, oh yeah, no, we still pick you up outside the airport. I got there, they phoned me and they were like, yeah, we don't pick you up outside the airport. You got to go to LA exit. Like,
yeah, I had to get a bus. I had to get a bus from there, and I was on my own with this case, and like in the middle of, it was crazy. And I'm not like a shy person, but I was out my comfort zone. I was like, look, I've just got to chill out. If I get there at 10 PM, I get there at 10 PM. Got this shuttle. I thought, fuck it, I'll ask anyone who is there what I'm doing, what's happening. Nico and George were out filming. Anyway, I managed to get to this apartment. Nico, they'd left the door unlocked for the apartment, so I got in, and I was jet lagged, so I was tired, and they were out filming, and they weren't getting back till late. And I remember Nico was like, look, we'll bring a blow-up mattress back for you because there's only Nico's room and then George's room was staying in the living room. Anyway, I got there and there was a like a sofa which actually turned into a bed, and I'd taken a sleeping bag out with me anyway because I knew that it was going to be like that. So thankfully I managed to just get a sleeping bag down, and I just fell asleep as soon as I got there because I was so tired. I remember George and Nico rocking up at like 1 AM, I think, or no, it was earlier than that. And I'd never met George either. And it was just a crazy experience, just like saying hi to them while sleeping. Like I was half asleep, like, "You alright, guys? How you doing?" And I was falling back asleep, and that was a crazy experience. Anyway, moving away from that, that was nuts. And then I can't speak highly enough about them because Nico and the whole team are top people, and there's been some incredible stories and funny times with them. Every time I go to the house, or every time I'm with them, it is always a laugh. So
I can imagine. I'll never forget.
That is always. Just
quickly, Charlie. You went to the Sidemen house as well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was. I went to the Sidemen house back in. There's a YouTube video on my channel still called "I Found KSI."
I remember that. Yeah. That was so random.
I remember. I remember messaging. I'm sure I tweeted out something like, "Has anyone got any spare tickets for the Wembley Cup?" I've got the tickets somewhere over there on my wall where I keep everything. And I either messaged JJ or JJ messaged me. Probably me messaging JJ. I just on the off chance, like, oh, do you have any? Is there any spare tickets going like guest list? I don't know why I was begging it, but anyway, he was like, yeah, I've got 2. Can you come and collect them? I was like, yeah, where do you want me to go? And he was like, yeah, you come to the house if you want. I was like, what? You mean the Sidemen house? And he was like, yeah, just rock up whenever you want tomorrow. I was like, what the fuck? I remember he was like, security will be fine, just say you're meeting this person, and you can come through. And I ended up Yeah, rocking up outside the house, knocking on the door. Josh had just pulled up with Freya in his Audi, I think it was, and I was like, "This is fucked." Like, I'm at their house, collecting tickets for a charity football match. It was a weird one. I was only there for like a minute, but that was still.
I remember when you texted. I got a text off you somewhere years ago, just saying this house is huge.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was cool to see. It was good.
So
fun.
we'll go back to Nico then. So obviously you did all the filming for his London experience. What was that like? Was that good fun?
Yeah.
I remember seeing your story and you're on
that
you're
was
on
good.
that fucking boat when you had like that like band playing and everything. And I thought, Charlie.
Yeah, so that boat
cool.
thing. Yeah, no, that was honestly. Yeah. It was only recently. It was only like a few months ago, so it's still fucking amazing to look back on, and I still love it. And the funny thing about that boat story was we were filming like a lot of the mayor content obviously around that time. We'd just done we'd done stuff at the house. We'd just done the bus video. I think the bus one was first. We did like an open top bus.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And then it was only like a week later. I was falling asleep, and I always have my phone on Do Not Disturb in the evening, like at night time. I was just falling asleep. It was 2 a.m. and I remember just checking, just to make sure all the socials were done. And George had just texted me saying, "Are you awake?" And at that time, George and I weren't having like conversations like away from work because there was a lot of stuff going on work-wise. And I was like, "Oh, I know he's going to say like, oh, can you come and shoot something like in a few days?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." He's like, "Can I call?" And I went, "Yeah, it is 2 a.m. Like, is everything all right?" He's like, "Basically, the cameraman has just dropped out. The drone pilot has just dropped out for this shoot that we're doing tomorrow. Well, it was actually today.
Yeah,
it was 2 a.m. He was like, our drone pilot's just dropped out. I've now have to fly the drone, and me and Nico know you're the only person that we can trust to shoot the content on the boat." He was like, "We've got to meet. You've got to meet us there at 10 a.m. And this was at 2 a.m. He's messaged me. He's phoned me. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, this is really last minute, and I didn't have anything on, and all my stuff was charged up. I was like, do you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm doing this. Like, what am I on about? I'm definitely doing this. So I ended up going to the house, and we drove to London, and we did it, and that was a mad experience on the boat filming. That was crazy. So. We've had some mad experiences together.
That's amazing. Seriously, I remember seeing it. Everything over the years has just been so cool from your stories. Like, I think I've lived a cool life, but you've lived the coolest fucking life.
Yeah.
We've lived cool lives together.
We literally have.
We've all done some fucking amazing stuff.
So before we finish off, then, Charlie, I thought about this because obviously we want to get into. Your journey's been insane over the years. We want to know what's really helped you and shit. So, if you could give advice to your younger self, or what would you want your younger self to know? This can be career-wise, it can just be general life-wise, so, like heartbreaks and shit, or it can be like, oh, buy a camera sooner. Like, what would you say was the most important thing you'd want your younger self to know? I know it's generic, but I think you'd have good advice here.
Yeah, I've just had one actually, so that's good timing. There's 2 or 3 things I think there is, and the first one is, this is just a general one. Be kind. Like, if there's one thing that I would say, not that I wasn't kind, but it's like, just be kind. Yeah. Like, you just don't know what someone is going through, even if they look like, they're absolutely fine. Just don't, that's the saying, don't judge a book by its cover, but just be kind. Like, it goes back to that thing, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. And there's definitely times where you think, oh, you want to try and be funny or impress someone or like embarrass someone by being funny. It's like, just don't be a dick. Yeah. Just like be kind. Like, be nice in that respect. I think that was sort of like, that's one thing. The second thing is...
Am I right just to say, before you go on, would you say that's been inspired by Doctor Who in any way whatsoever?
Yeah, I definitely think that has played a part in terms of like that, that saying, I never would. It was like that kind of...
That's literally on my wristband.
Always try to be nice, but never fail to be kind.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Just be nice and
I feel
at least try. Do you know what I mean? Or just don't be a cunt, basically. Really.
I feel like I'm just sat here.
I miss that line in Doctor Who.
Let's think. What?
Yeah. Sorry, that was in the cut that Russell T Davies sent me.
What would the Doctor do?
Matt, there was definitely times when I think back about that. Definitely. So that is the main one, and that is heavily inspired from Doctor Who. The second one is, look after your oral hygiene. I think that is a huge thing, and I've noticed that recently in the past few months. I've been to the dentist a lot recently, because my childhood I was just eating a lot of shit and like fizzy drinks or sweets, and dentists are expensive when it comes to sorting your mouth out.
Yeah.
So I think a huge thing is just look after your oral hygiene. That is a huge thing I say to my younger self.
That is brilliant, though.
Yeah, that is, and I've never heard that on anything else. And I was thinking about this when I was at my dentist. I've got another appointment next month. Not that there's like anything majorly wrong, but it's just things that could have been sorted when I was younger, basically.
Yeah, that's good.
Just
I like that.
just simple things, and just look after your oral hygiene and your hygiene in general. Not that I wasn't clean, but it's like just be clean. Yeah, you just look after your hygiene because it helps. Be kind, look after that, and take risks. You know, you've got to take risks in life, and if you don't take risks, then you're never gonna achieve anything. And I said that on another podcast I did a few months ago. But you have to take risks if you want to get anywhere. You know, I took a risk going to LA on my own because I had never met Nico and George and half the other people that were there. But yeah, take risks, because if you don't take risks, you're never going to get anywhere. You've got to get out of your comfort zone. That is a huge thing.
Amazing.
Those are sort of the three main messages I'd say.
I would say, I mean, it's kind of a similar question, but it's a question we ask every guest. So if you could change one thing in your life, past or present, I suppose, what would it be? It could be something as simple as, like Matt said, buying a camera earlier, starting YouTube earlier. It could be anything like that.
I think for me it would be that girl thing back in 2018, and it's still there's definitely times where I still think about it. I'm not. I would say I'm definitely not fully over it yet. Like there's still definitely times when I think about it, but I'm over it more than I was years ago. And I think it would be just like, don't let things like that affect you. Just don't get down about it. I have a tendency to, once I'm sort of into something, like I become almost obsessed with it. Like if it's a TV show or a photographer or a YouTuber or just something like that, just try to just stay chill about it and not get over the top with it. So yeah, that is sort of the big thing I'd say.
Amazing. This is my new favourite episode, without a doubt. This was amazing, Charlie.
You said that for the last three guests.
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, lads, I just want to say thanks for having me, because this is a fucking honest to be on here. I love this podcast.
Honestly, mate,
since you guys started it,
it's an amazing, huge honour to have you on here as well. We do just have one more question. It's not a shocking question. It's just, if you have anybody that you want to suggest to come on the podcast, suggest it now. I know all we do, we just clip it up, put it on Twitter, and that's about it, really.
Cool. I would...
This is Charlie, so...
Yeah, okay, this...
Everyone smile.
Oh, yeah, KSI, I reckon. I reckon KSI. No, I would... There's a couple of people I'd mention. There's people who just spoke about it. It's either going to be Nico, because he's got... so many stories. Nico, or the people who work with Nico. George, I don't think George really does podcasts. He's quite, he keeps himself to himself. But George, and if not James, Chubonic. Chubonic is someone that I met. I've met obviously through Nico. We did a trip up to Sheffield.
He did.
Yeah, he was at Clash. We did a trip up to Sheffield for a video that I hope is coming out soon for Nico. And that was like me, George, Nico, and James. And that was honestly it was like a 3 or 4 day trip, and it was honestly such a laugh just going up together and just being in a hotel and then going out shooting. That was a real fun experience. But yeah, James has got some cool stories, and he's still I think he's just turned 19, and he's editing for Nico.
That's
and
amazing.
He's doing work and stuff with AJ and the Beta Squad. And yeah, Chubonic is one that I'd say, because he's a top guy.
There we go.
Chubonic,
like please come on the podcast.
If you're watching this, James, I'm sorry, James, if you're watching this, you suck at iMessage games.
I love the
James.
That is all I'm saying.
Come on the podcast and chat.
You can't beat me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have a fight. We'll have a fight if you want.
You can call him out for a boxing match.
Fantastic.
We'll have a fight.
Like I said a minute ago, though, it's been an absolute honour having you on. And you're welcome back any time at all, mate. Just drop us a message and we'll sort something out with you.
Yeah, we talk about all the care. We talk about all the care side stories.
Thanks for having
me and Charlie's stories over the years next time.
There's a lot, yeah. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
No problem. Where can people find you on Twitter, just quickly before we end? Where can people find you, like Twitter and stuff? Twitter is @CharlieWoodward, and my Instagram is @CharlieWoodwardMedia. And then those are sort of the two main social medias that I use, so yeah. Fantastic. Thank you again, and we'll catch you in the next episode of the Porn Out Podcast, guys. We'll see you later.
Stephen's a virgin also.